Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 sense for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys, cause I break the chains. They try to hold me, I'ma push back, just wait and you'll see. Please excuse me, your honor, but you can't hold me no longer. Can't you feel the vibrations? I broke out and left traces. Go ahead, try catch me if you can, man. You'll be looking all night, I'm the Sandman. New York, London to Japan. I'ma show the whole world who I am. Boom, boom, boom. Major look.
What's good, everyone? World Combat Sports back in the building. Stomping in my big black boots. You know what it is? It's a day closer to July 24th. Retribution. I don't have to say too much. Salute to all the supporters in the building. Like, share, subscribe. If you choose to donate to the channel, then do that. You know what I'm saying? Support the channel. But first and foremost, you know, I have to put this out there that Atlanta Hawks just dispersed the Philadelphia 76ers back to the damn off season where they can plan their vacations while we head to the finals. You know what I'm saying? The Eastern Conference Finals. The look on Abib's face says it all, y'all. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't gonna front. I mean, I tried to support the Dirty Birds and they let me down. I've been trying to support the Atlanta Hawks on and off. But I'm gonna be honest, this season I wasn't really rocking with them like that. And then, you know, they started to pick up steam. And then, you know, they put away another game. I mean, another series. I was like, all right, they might be serious this year. Who knows? They have a tough matchup, whoever it is. They kick off this next series. But shout out to the Hawks for getting it in, sending the Beeb home with that gloomy look on his face. Better luck next time. Somebody better tell Danny Garcia, not today. Not today. You know, it's not going to be a long night. I do have some topics to speak on. So let me start by putting my thumbnail up there. And I want to ask you all the question. Charlo. He won this past weekend, improved his record to 32 victories, still undefeated, 22 by way of knockout. He is the middleweight WBC champion, all right? He dispersed of Montiel 22-5-2, 22 knockouts. And, you know, they talk about the 22 victories being all by stoppages, all right? We get it. I salute both fighters for going in there, putting on the show. As much as been going on with all these exhibition fights, man, it's hard to gauge who's going to come in there and give you what you're looking for. And, you know, that was it was some buzz, and then it was some mumbling about this fight with Charlo and Montiel. But the fight turned out to be a damn good scrap. I salute both fighters. But I have to ask the biggest question in the room. Is Charlo ready for the 68 division? That being the super middleweight division. Is he ready for the 168-pound division? Now, he had Montiel hurt around the 5th and the 6th round. all right, in that fight. But Montiel kept pushing forward. You know, he was doing some awkward shit, squaring up, just doing a lot of wrong. If that was your offensive strategy, there's a lot of behavior that he was displaying that was just all wrong in a fight of that magnitude. Was Montiel that confident being in front of Jamal Charlo like that? Squared up, targeted, easy to be hit? Or was he trying to expose something that we're looking at about Jamal Charlo? Was he able to do that? I know he put on a show. I know he gave Jamal Charlo everything he can handle, and Jamal Charlo gave him everything he can handle. But the bigger question when the names come about, I'm talking about these top tier names in boxing. We hear about the Andrades, right? I really don't want to mention Triple G, but he's in the equation to a 60. But you mention the names with Canelo, and you mention the names with David Benavidez that's still in the hunt, regardless if you don't have a title yet or not. Those two names right there, and I'm not putting Caleb Plant in there because he has a fight coming up with Canelo Alvarez, and furthermore, Charlo really hasn't never mentioned Caleb Plant's name. You know, David Benavidez has been in the narrative, and Canelo Alvarez has been in the narrative. That's it. Spin them two together. Is Jamal Charlo ready to step up to the plate and face these two? We already know Canelo Alvarez is currently campaigning for undisputed at 168 pounds. He's been able to disperse of Callum Smith and Billy Joe Saunders adequately. Jamal Charlo has had two tough fights, in my opinion. He had Sergey Derevyanchenko and most recently Montiel. There were some times in that fight where Charlo was touched up. I felt he could have had better head movement, used his footwork a bit better. But he was showing us that he can be flat-footed at times. And a lot of you might say, well, Canelo, he's pretty flat-footed too. David Benavidez is pretty flat-footed too. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are not looking at it like he have trouble except with the boxing technique or the overall skill set of Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez. Both of them have their own dynamic of troubles that Charlo will have to deal with. First of all, being weight. All right. Weight is a big difference. That's why Charlo hasn't quite moved up yet. He speak of being big for 60, but yet he's too small for 68. So I'm pretty curious of when he's gonna make up his mind and take that risk and move up there. It would be good if he moved up first and just fought David Benavidez and get it over with. Real talk. If he chose to step up to that challenge. Why am I saying David Benavidez? Because the boxing style that we seen Montiel display yesterday is very similar to that of Benavidez. They both walk their opponent right in the front door, squared up. Your target is there, is framed nicely like a picture on the wall. It's there for you to do whatever. I mean, you don't really have to, go through any type of drastic measures to land a punch. They right there. They're giving you shoulder to shoulder frame width. They're not trying to limit their target on anything. They're walking through the front door, and that's what you get. Benavidez is the right height. He's the right size. And definitely he has a championship caliber, having been two-time WBC champion already. What Charlo needs to do is just do away with reminding us how he lost the title. Gervonta Davis kind of lost the title at 30, for, missing weight and stuff like that. Now, of course, Benavidez is a bit different. Cocaine, and being, 3 pounds over, missing weight. That last time he missed weight, right? They moved him up to 175, and I guess him and his team had to petition to sustain his presence at the 168-pound division because he still had work to do. But they was pretty perturbed at what he was doing. They didn't appreciate that. It was unprofessional. So they said, take your ass up to light heavyweight. Now it seems like he's dialed in. He's all about his weight. He's trying to be professional, and he's calling out Charlo. Benavidez is calling out Charlo after seeing that fight yesterday. He said, I'll stop at Future Boxing. I'll stop him. Us the fans are sitting back watching. That'd be a very, very intriguing fight. I'm not going to lie to you. That should be intriguing. If he's willing to take a step up to that division outside of 60 and face a dangerous opponent like Benavidez, real talk. That's what boxing needs. Not everybody want to take that risk, though. They'll sit back and critique somebody else doing it. When it's time for them to do it, that's when it becomes a different type of situation. I'm all for it. Coach Chris in the building. What up, world? What's good, Coach Chris in the building? Salute to you. Benavidez beats his ass to me. Well, not trying to be biased, Coach. You know what I'm saying? I feel the same way. And, sometimes it comes down to I look at the Charlo brothers. I mean, more so Jamel. I've seen how Jamel just loses it, right? And I just see how, they go about their way in boxing. They say in lines only and all this other shit. I mean, I can be petty. I say lions, they some lazy animals, they sleep during the day and shit like that. I can be petty like that, But I think Jamal Charlo is sleeping in 60 too much when it comes down to it. You have Demetrius Andrade right there, accessible to you, and you haven't really made the energized effort that we're looking for. You don't seem like you motivated to go over there and fight Demetrius Andrade. Y'all still holding grudges on this man. Y'all still holding grudges on what he did contractually back in the day. That has since gone, and he's a WBO champion looking for a fight. What Jamal Charlo do? Jamal Charlo emulates and repeats what Canelo Alvarez said. Canelo Alvarez said that Demetrius Andrade is a horrible fighter. What Charlo do? Repeat the same thing. Okay, so if he's a horrible fighter, prove it. If you don't want to move up to 68, go over there and fight Andrade. You know you're not going to get Triple G. And if you want to unify the division, if nobody else is willing to fight Murata, not too many people going to care about it, but if you're trying to do something different, special, like your little brother Mel, go over there and fight Yoda Murata. But really, the fans want to see Demetrius Andrade, second Triple G. This is in the 160-pound division. And then if you choose to take the risk, leaps and bounds, you go up to 68 and get that work with Benavidez. That'll be your toughest fight of your career right there. But yet entertaining. That's what us, the fans, want to see. Go get that smoke with David Benavidez. Stop waiting until he move up to light heavy. Stop waiting to see what Canelo's going to do with the titles. Canelo unified that division. Let's just say, for instance, he unified. The first person he's looking for is not going to be Jamal Charlo. The type of energy that he gave Andrade to my payday. I know you want payday. He's saying the same shit to Jamal Charlo too. It's just Jamal Charlo did not have the cojones to walk up in the presser and do what Andrade did with his pops. He don't feel he needs to. But we can tell that Andrade is a bit anxious. You know what I'm saying? He's anxious to get up in that motherfucker. He want that big fight with Canelo Alvarez. Whether he can win or not, he has to prove it. But why would Canelo come down to 60 though? Why? He was a franchise champion, and now the unified champion. He has a single belt left. It's almost like the same routine that Vasil Lomachenko had. Vasil Lomachenko had majority of the belts, the WBC, the WBA, and the WBO in the lightweight division. But the one thing about this is that Canelo is choosing to keep his WBC and fight Caleb Plant in September and unify the division for undisputed. We all know that Canelo Alvarez, was a franchise champion at 60. But right now, he's planning, and that his intent is to unify that 168-pound division free and clear without a franchise belt. Charlo needs to understand that Canelo is never going to oblige anyone unless they feel he has this need that they deserve it. Like Abney Yildirim had a promissory note for a couple of years, even coming off a loss. So I guess they was like, man, we need to honor this shit. So Abney Yildirim came in there, boom, dispersed him, get him up out of there, and then let's go over here and fight Billy Joe Saunders. Nobody wasn't giving a damn about Yildirim. But if he goes in here and defeat Caleb Plant, which I'm not saying he is, then I'm pretty sure Canelo Alvarez is going to fight a huge name to defend his undisputed titles, all his crowns. He's going to fight a big name. Right now, Andrade isn't a big name. Charlo is a decent name when it comes to boxing. He's a 2-division champion, but he hasn't done anything at 60. So just like he's saying Demetrius Andrade is a horrible fighter, your best opponent just recently showed up. Sergey Derevyanchenko. You push through him, then you get Montiel. You have a tough fight with him. He pops your eye open. He touches you up real nice. But once again, I'm not taking away Mauro Charlo standing there and fighting. But as far as this, I don't know, man. As far as putting him at the higher tier of boxers in the sport right now that I want to see box, no, it's not there yet. He doesn't box well off the back foot. He doesn't box well with the pressure Benavidez would give him. Guarantee you. Coach Chris said they soft, that loud talk and bravado is fake. I'm not falling for it anymore. I hear you, man. It was a point in time where, Coach, I couldn't understand why the Charlo brothers was acting the way they were. I see Jermell Charlo go off on Jarrett Hurd, and Jarrett Hurd never presented himself as that dude that was, very boisterous and shit, a garrulous type, reckless talking individual. And Jarrett Hurd never really presented himself like that. When I used to see Jermell Charlo disrespecting his team, his family, I'm thinking for sure that they was gonna fight. I always would like if my girl was with me not to get involved in grown man situations unless it's in defense. You know what I'm saying? Like physical defense or something like that. Really, I don't want you included in the verbal conversation. But there's a female in Jerry Hurd's team that basically, yelled something at Mel Charlo. And the first thing he said, tell your bitch to look it up. It's some very disrespectful individuals, more so Jermell Charlo. I'm not saying boxing is full of morals and principles. I say this shit all the time. It's not a sanctified sport. You don't get ordained before you put on a pair of gloves. But right now, we have two individuals that just happen to be twins. Sometimes they vibe off each other. And they just say some crazy shit, man. And I'm wondering, where do they plan on going with this? Like, what do they want their legacy left? It's so many people up there for Jamal Charlo. He needs to continue to build his legacy. And that legacy may include going against some very tough opposition before you get to Canelo Alvarez. I'll be entirely shocked if Canelo chose Mar Charlo to dance. If he gave him that 168-pound shot at the Undisputed Crowns, I'd be very shocked if Canelo, gave Charlo that shot. But it won't be at 60. It'll definitely be at 68. Obviously, he got the titles, right? I don't think he's ready for 68. I'm gonna be honest with you. I truly don't think so. After what I seen last night against an opponent that had 4 losses already, I don't believe that he's ready to a sense where you're just gonna say, no matter what I hit him with, he kept on coming. That's how that's when you're supposed to make adjustments. Adjustments. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to adjust, switch it up, and reapply. Execute differently. Montiel had him backing up several rounds of that fight. Only time Charlo was comfortable was when Montiel was allowing him to be comfortable. He was just hanging out, not doing much, just filling Charlo out. And then he really started digging. He said, now it's time to get to work. I don't know why Montiel chose that game plan, because the dude looked like he was in shape. He looked like he was in damn good shape, y'all. And he could have went full 12 rounds with that pressure. But to take off the first quarter of that fight and execute very little action and trying to break down Charlo early, it seemed like he didn't want to deal with it. He was that was his game plan. Take a couple of rounds off, bullshit around, and then apply pressure for the last 10. And he did, but he just couldn't get it done. I wasn't rooting against Charlo in that fight at all. I was rooting for a good fight. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't rooting against Charlo, especially Mar Charlo. I mean, I wasn't rooting against him. It's just certain rounds that I was looking at. I say, Charlo, I thought was better than this. I thought he was better than that. I was looking for him to do different things, without being pushed back. Find a way to take the lead. You got that awesome jab, right? Montiel was making him switch off using his jab all the time. I mean, like, you have certain areas of your skill set that stand out. Take full advantage of them in a situation like that. Move your head. Hit and not be hit, right? But, Montiel popped that eye open. I think he had a little bit of damage, just a little bit, when he fought Sergey Derevyanchenko, who touched him up. I'm not saying boxing is one of these clean sports where you're gonna come out the ring. You're gonna enter the ring and leave the ring unscathed. Others, they have to walk the walk right now. And this is a little bit off topic, but I keep seeing this shit how Errol Spence, is telling Jermell Charlo I'm coming. No, don't do that now. Don't do that, because you'll be falling within the scenario that I've already given on how Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence can cement their legacy. I already told y'all that. All Errol Spence has to do if he don't get the fight with Crawford, what? Move up to 54 and fight Jermell Charlo for the undisputed titles. Wins, it's a rematch clause. Boom, go back in there. Jermell Charlo wins. 2-time undisputed champion at 54, 2-division unified champion. Undisputed at 54 is Errol Spence. Now, him going into the fight with Terrence Crawford would be that much lucrative at 47. I've said it. I know I was the first to say it. I said it. I don't do this first shit. I'm past the little, goofy, I got to be first shit. But I'm just saying I was. So if that is indeed the case with Errol Spence, cool. But at this point, Mar Charlo, to me, if he has the cojones to do it, the first person he should fight at 68 that has a name, if you want to pique the interest of Canelo Alvarez, is David Benavidez. That would be a damn good fight. There's no way I can make a selection and say, I know who will win this fight right here. I can't do it. I cannot do it, y'all. 2K in the building. What's good? When is Carlos Jackson next fight? When he comes out with fight news. King Dynamite when he comes out with fight news. I'm not sure. He will let me know when it's going down. And shout out to Carlos Jackson down here in the A, man. Shout out to King Dynamite, good brother, solid. Be sure to follow him on social media. Andrew Charles in the building. What's good? Salute to you there, Andrew. But that's my take on that, man. Because the scales aren't level when it comes to Jamar Charlo moving up to 68. There's still work to be done at 60. But due to the pettiness of the way the Charlos, like they're at arms right now with one another. Like they're not in the best of relationship or communication with one another, okay? But that doesn't mean they don't think alike. Like they've been mad with Demetrius Andrade for quite some time now. And it seemed like they haven't got over it. Even hearing him recently say, I'll fight Demetrius Andrade. I'll fight him. We need to see action next. We need to hear some shit come out. Like you still got time for one more fight this year. So if it comes down to it, and you link up that fight with Demetrius Andrade, that'll be good. People tune in. Demetrius Andrade have his best opponent of his career, and we should say that Demetrius Andrade will be your best opponent. You know what I'm saying? 2 champions, same division, different fighting styles. I think the boxing audience would tune in. Yeah, I think they'll tune in to see you fight Demetrius Andrade because Andrade is very, very dehydrated. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to finding opponents that can give him that notoriety and that popular viewership that he's looking for. It's just he don't bring that shit, bro. Like it's something about Andrade. He's a good dude. He's a very good dude, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a cool cat. But he has no selling value whatsoever. He's a good dude, though. He's not loud or anything, but he just don't have any selling value. And right now, we just have some shit going on in boxing that we don't know who has selling value, how they got selling value, what they need to continue to do to keep it. It's just everybody has their own little snake about them. Like the fans gravitate to certain boxers. It can be their connection to the culture. It can be their fighting style, the opponent that they fought. One fight that set them on the map. It can be something they did in their hometown, their coach, trainer. I don't know, man. It can be their team. It all depends. But Demetrius Andrade have not had that luck yet. He hasn't. So that's what we're looking for. If it's at 60, we just want to see Andrade Charlo, period. Triple G is waiting on a motherfucking ferry to come down. So we need to just leave him, and let him do what the fuck he want to do, man. He shouldn't even have that IBF title anyway. So we're gonna leave Triple G, and he's praying and wishing that he get another fight, a trilogy with Canelo. Nobody wants to see that. And look, Triple G. If Canelo even thinks about coming down there and fighting Triple G at middleweight, it's a lot of people going to have something to say. They're going to say, once again, you duck Charlo, huh? You was up here putting restrictions and saying you ain't coming down to 60 to fight Charlo, but you fight Triple G at 60, it's a whole nother story again. You know what I'm saying? Because we thought you was done with that shit. You already fought him twice, and you moved up to 68, and you say that's going to be your division. So if you even think about coming back down here, it should be Jamal Charlo, and Charlo need to step up to the plate without any type of excuses or anything, and take that work. But we'll see what's popping, y'all, because it needs something needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? Something needs to be broken up from 60 to 68. We need some live and living color up at that division. It's just dead right now. You know what I'm saying? Even with Canelo at 68, it's almost like we're looking at him unify the division, and we're saying, how did that happen again? Oh, yeah, that's right. The WBC was vacant. So he got a 2-for-1 chicken dinner when he fought Callum Smith. I get it. This motherfucker has taken out the broom and swept the 168-pound division so quickly. He's about to fight for the IBF, the last remaining super title in the damn division. No franchise. And we asking ourselves, damn, that shit was quick. And I know we still have Jamel Charlo or Brian Castano, but no one's really looking at that fight when they should. Like, Brian Castano is not a slouch, bro. Like, this dude can actually, you know, put his hands together. He can actually throw down. You know, Brian Castano, yes, he's the one that defeated Patrick Teixeira. That's going to be a good fight. But one thing I can say about Jamel Charlo, when he focuses, you know, he goes in there and do what he do. Outside of the buffoonery that they've been dispersing towards, you know, Deontay Wilder, the Charlo's going to have to find their way. You know, like to me, I don't connect with the Charlos because they just feel like the only time that they're relevant to the camera is when they're about to have a fight and they want to show their material, their fruits of their labor. Okay, cool. But outside of Texas, are you a global superstar? You know what I'm saying? Are people really fucking with you like that? You know, you can show people your vehicles all day long and they're just going to look and they say, wow, that's great. Boo, boo, boo. And then it's on to the next. It's done. If they're not on your pay scale, they're not going to really fuck with you like that. They're not going to say, okay, cool, I fuck with the Charlos because they have 3 luxury cars I like. And I seen them painting inside their house. I like that shit. I like the color of their couch too. It's white. Nobody's really talking about that shit like that, bro. Real talk. I don't know if you heard or not. Let me pull this up for you right quick. Let me pull something up for you right quick. Now, let me share this right quick because, yeah, it's a lot of things going on with boxing, right? I mean, it's just puzzling. And the only reason I'm speaking on this particular subject because, you know, it was dropped to me as a talking point, right? So I'm going to speak on it right quick, right? I'm not going to take too long on it, but I just want to speak on it so people can get some clarity on something. So let me share screen right quick. So peep this out. This, let me take this thumbnail down. This right here, y'all, is Anderson Silva, right? He's a former UFC legend from Brazil, 34-11-0. He's 46 years old. He just fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., which is in his 30s. Look at this now. The man came off a loss against Israel Adesanya, the current middleweight world champion. He lost to Jared Cannonier. Then he lost to Uriah Hall via punches, round 4. And then he just fought Julio Cesar Chavez. He won a split decision. Chavez is 52-6-1. And you're looking at that experience, you're saying, damn, Chavez fought a lot of motherfuckers. Okay. Chavez is 35 years old. We all know who his dad is, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. And we all know these situations right here. We all know that. Losing to Saul Alvarez when he had a fight scheduled with Triple G, Canelo did. So we knew Chavez wasn't going to win that fight. And then whoever this dude is, and we all seen the fight with Daniel Jacobs, and then Caceres. But I'm asking myself when it comes down to boxing, right? When I was in the gym this past weekend, I was just having a conversation, and we was talking about this shit. And what I've come to with boxers is that they're not overly concerned about fighters like Anderson Silva, the Paul brothers, which are two different conversations, right? Because Anderson Silva actually fought mixed martial arts at the highest level. But what you didn't know, if you didn't know, right? If you didn't know, is that Anderson Silva had boxed before. You know what I'm saying? He was stopped in his first boxing bout. He was stopped. Let me see if they even have it on here. Let me go back. Let me see if they so let me see, can I pull this shit up? He was stopped. So it's not like he hasn't been in the four corner square. It's the fact that he was stopped right here. Right here, people. Boxing bout back in 1998, shawty. 1998. And then Anderson said, you know what? I'm going straight mixed martial arts all the way up. And for a minute, his reign as champion was commendable. You know what I'm saying? Hall of Famer. Real talk. But when I'm talking to the boxers about all these individuals that's coming to the sport, fighting, absent of the boxing experience, I don't find that their energy is like to refute it. They seem like not that they're surrendering, not that they're condoning. They're just at a point right now, I think they pretty much worried about what's in front of them. Like if it was me, I'm gonna tell you, I would be trying to find a way to exploit any type of popularity I can, which is a cost-effective way for me to increase my fanfare. How can I do that with my audience? How can I build my audience up? What can I do? Do I need a new PR team? Do I need to go out here and purchase motherfucking, 8 million subscribers on YouTube? Should I put that in the budget? What should I do? Or boxing is just so tough on the athletes, people just may look at it like, I ain't gonna do shit. I'm just gonna continue to fight. I'm gonna see what happens, and I'm gonna take it from there. Because they sure enough not really worried about Jake Paul fighting Logan Paul fighting Mike Tyson. They're not really concerned about that. And then from my understanding, right, Vitor Belfort is scheduled to step back, step in the boxing ring, even though that fight was postponed. Vitor Belfort is another mixed martial arts legend that was due to step back in the boxing ring, rather. And also, he's supposed to be the one to fight Evander Holyfield at the end of the year. So he already has 2 fights scheduled. I'll tell you right now who he's supposed to fight. You're not gonna believe this. You know what I'm saying? So Oscar, yeah, when you mention Oscar, automatically you think certain things, right? Oscar De La Hoya of Golden Boy was scheduled to fight Vitor Belfort on his return. You remember when he was up there talking with Snoop Dogg at Triller on stage, and then he said, "I'm making my return this time, June, whatever, June 5th." Dropped the mic. Then the fight card was they had to slide into a different slot because of Floyd Mayweather slid in on the 6th of this month. So they had to move it to 19th. And then on the 19th, there's speculation that, Teofimo, caught COVID. And then there's other speculation of the tickets wasn't selling. So now it's moved again to August. But Vitor Belfort is supposed to have been the opponent for Oscar De La Hoya. And no matter what he did in that particular fight, he's scheduled to fight Evander Holyfield at the end of the year. So it's really no concern of the fighters that I talk to about individuals that's coming over to the sport right now. Because I guess they look at it like this, people. I guess they think about Conor McGregor coming over here with 0 boxing matches. But, it wasn't an exhibition. Conor McGregor came over here and fought Floyd Mayweather, and it was real. That shit was absolutely real. Hundreds of millions real. So I don't know, man. It's just a lot more individuals going to attempt to switch over to the sport, pick up a paycheck, and probably go back to the cage and just continue to, get their feet wet until they decide to swim. Will I be the one to tell you it builds up popularity? The only one that I'm seeing right now that's building up popularity from switching over at this point in time is the Carissa Shields move from boxing to MMA. She did pretty decent viewership on social media. She did pretty decent viewership. And if she if she decides to have one more mixed martial arts bout before returning back to the ring, it'll be okay. Like I said before, I believe Carissa Shields should stay over in mixed martial arts until they're thirsty. They're extremely thirsty to bring her back over here and fight Savannah Marshall, somebody where she has, a reason, a desire, a paycheck that's bigger than what she ever had to come back to boxing and fight this chick or fight for the welterweight division, unified titles, fight McCaskill or something like that. And then she comes over here and unify her her third division. Guess what? She can just go back over to mixed martial arts and continue to grow. But from what I'm hearing, it's so many other fights that may be taking place, man, that people may look at these exhibitions as a way of the new norm. I'm being honest with you. That's what I'm hearing. You're gonna have a lot of retired old fighters that's coming out the shadows to get a check. And it doesn't matter if they was in boxing or mixed martial arts. You may see them in the ring, lacing up and, under somebody's undercard and getting it in. So look forward to that. I'm not into fighters showing off all the time because somebody has already done it to a level that won't be matched for a while. And his name is Floyd. Clarissa can come back to boxing when boxing wants to write her a check. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I look at it like this too, Andrew, with social media, right? You have this social media entity right now that's huge. It's very, very broad. And it's so deceptive. It's very deceptive because you actually have excluded meeting somebody, shaking hands, understanding what the perception is from physical contact, a visual. We've done away with that shit. Now you can look at somebody and whether they really want to mess with you or not, or have a build a rapport or relationship or friendship with you. You got social media? You don't? What? You don't have Twitter, IG? You have individuals grading you on how many social media accounts that you have. And then not only that, your second grade will come when you provide them your social media account and they go in there and check how many subscribers or followers you got. Well, you only got 22 followers? What the hell? What are you doing all day? Well, first of all, I'm not on social media all the time. Man, you really need to get on social media for real. So they're grading you right then and there. So we went away from physical contact and rapport to basically social media perception, simulation, where they believe the more subscribers that you have, the more attention that you deserve. A lot of people feel that way, and that's far from the truth. That's extremely outlandish to think that, you know, when someone first told me that, right? They didn't never look at my catalog on YouTube. Like, I'm just cut differently from the military. It's all about the work you put in, right? And my work may not be just live streams all the time. It's nothing against it. It's that I don't have to do it, you know? I cover the sport with because I love it and I have a passion for it. But when somebody first told me that you're not going to get credentials because you don't have near as many subscribers, right? And I say, okay, all right. I say, so based off subscribers you think I have, how many do I need to get a credential? They say, man, you need about 80 to 100,000. I say, seriously? I need 80 to 100 subscribers to get a credential. And that was debunked very quickly because, you know, made some phone calls. It took some no's, but I ended up getting approved for Top Rank first. Then I ended up getting approved for Showtime. Then Bare Knuckle Fighting. And then some other tiers. I haven't did UFC yet, but I have interviewed some fighters that fall over there. My main point I'm making is there's more people that's willing to engage with someone with artificial subscribers than they are the person. And it has to be difficult for the boxer who's stepping in the ring and you're looking at him like, he's a damn good boxer, but I've really never heard of him. Let me check his IG. Where can I go to his IG at? Where can I check his IG? You go to his IG and the boxer may only have 1,000 motherfucking followers. And people want to say, man, I ain't fucking with him yet. He got to get his followers up. He got to get them numbers up. You know, I had a person from Showtime tell me that shit. I said, what does that have to do with my job, though? The only way I'm going to improve and enhance my ability to come cover fights is, for one, attend the fights. And then two, if I'm able to get approved for credentials, I totally understand how everything moves and flows on fight night and press week and weigh-ins and all that. So I kind of get that experience to go in there and make that shit happen. And then you run up on some people that you know, and you work and practice on proper questions, especially if they're there with their girl, they just there with their boys, chilling, and you're media and you're up there asking them, you know, to give you a drop right quick. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by drop, to me, I'm saying like a little quick interview. What they think about the fight, is what brings them here, you know, what they have next down the line. It's good to kind of do your research, you know, get on their phone, boom, pop it. If you don't know, right, you get on the phone, you know, pop the information in there, do a brief clip note review, and then go get it. truly, if I was a fighter in this era, social media wouldn't be one of my strong points. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, it's not that it's difficult because I have, a website and everything else. It's just you have to be active on here to build up a following. And one thing Ryan Garcia has been able to do is, put out little videos. I'm not talking about what he's doing lately. I'm just saying he put out videos and he has amassed like 8 million followers. But my point in all of this is if you have 8 million followers and when you go on YouTube and they give you $1, just give you $1. If you ask them, hey, this is so and so, if everybody can donate $1 today, you have 8 million subscribers. You think that fighter is going to be in a hurry to fight? If his subscribers, 8 million subscribers, donate $1 every time he goes live on YouTube, hell no. He's going to be like, shit, I'm good, coach. Let me pay you for this. No, I knew you said we was gonna have a fight in a month, but I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna fight once this year because my social media blowing up right now. I'm gonna fight once this year, coach. But this fight would have lined us up for the title shot. I know, coach, but right now, this money is goddamn my championship right now. For real. I'm telling you, if social media was like that and people was dropping you super chats with 8 million subscribers, it's a lot of shit you may not be concerned about, people. I'm being honest. But that's the world we live in, people. For real. That's the world we live in. Let me get up out of here. So I don't know if y'all seen the situation that has been spoken on several times over about Deontay Wilder and the situation with his head, his injury, right? And the egg weight in which Tyson Fury gloves was manipulated and potentially him having an object in his gloves that led to Deontay Wilder's indentation in his head. Now, a photo just came out that was taken during his recent interview with Barbershop Conversations, right? And it shows the same indentation that we seen in the fight when he was pretty much banged up, Now, of course, I look at it like this. A lot of people are going to go against the grain on this. It's not going to go anywhere. The hardcore Wilder fans who talk about this subject all the time, we at a point right now, a long time, that we hear you talking, but we pretty much convinced on what the evidence is out there with, right? And I know talking earlier with the brothers on the panel with Drew Titan, it's viewed like this. If by chance on that night, February 22nd, if it would have played out like Luis Resto and Billy Collins, where a member of the team would have just, I don't know, shaken the hand or sequestered, a glove of Tyson Fury because they felt like the damage that they seen Deontay Wilder take was out of the ordinary, then we may have a different conversation. It wouldn't be so many people up here whining and complaining and pretending like they don't want to know what's truth. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, when Billy Collins' father reached out to shake Luis Resto's hand because he gave Billy Collins a beating. He said, God damn, he barely have any padding in there. And of course, Panama Lewis and Luis Resto try to put on a scene and shit like that. And Billy's dad like, shit, hey, y'all need to confiscate. Back then, they call it impound. Y'all need to impound them gloves. And you know who the promotion was back then, right? Y'all want to hear who the promotion that was over that fight? Top Rank. It was Top Rank. So we hear about all this commission shit all the time. The commission. And look, you know how many groups I've been kicked out of talking about the motherfucking commission? how they're blind to a lot of offensive, illegal shit to take place. Now, check this out, though. If Wilder would have been able to somehow dial it all in to understand what was going on with his body, but we're not always like you're in an adrenaline fueled moment, a heavyweight championship with an individual as big as Tyson Fury. And the fight was intensive, okay? But prior to the opening bell, Deontay had no idea what was going on with his equilibrium, his mechanics, the way he was feeling, the mood, the vibe. He didn't have none of that shit, connecting, linking up. Me seeing him fight before, I've seen him at the press conference behind the scene. I've seen him, talk his talk. I've seen him in different occasions, man. That wasn't Deontay Wilder we used to seeing. So I'm factoring that in to the fight, y'all. I'm factoring all this in and saying to myself, first of all, something's fucked up about Wilder's body in general. And people was up here talking about the suit. We ain't talking about no motherfucking suit. We're talking about some type of contaminant that was in his bloodstream that was allowing him to be sluggish. It could have been a sleep aid. It could have been anything. It could have been drug. It could have been anything. Which leads us to absolutely check the box on the water being tainted. Why? Because, just like all the videos has been out there with Fury turning down the water after winning the title with Deontay Wilder. Now, Deontay Wilder hasn't said anything to the commission, anything to my, you know what? The water, I think the water, he didn't know what the fuck was going on with him. But Tyson Fury turned down some water after asking where it came from. So link this up. If contaminated water doesn't exist, which it has, even George Foreman talks about it. Even people talk about it with Muhammad Ali. If it doesn't exist in boxing, why did Tyson Fury turn it down? You have to ask yourself that question, bro. You can't continue to sit up here and say that there's excuses. Moving on. Next, when Wilder names pop up in this particular, conversation dealing with February 22nd, it pisses people off. Like, when I used to have troops come in my office, right? And it was for potential reprimand. Sometimes what looks the obvious isn't quite the obvious. So you have to ask questions. You have to hear them out and see and hear who's telling the truth and who's lying. So if Deontay Wilder was lying about all these accusations, why has he never wavered from his initial accusations? He has to waver because with the lie, what did he say? You have to keep that lie refreshed. You have to understand what you lied about before that, and so on and so on. You have to continue to keep that lie fresh. Why didn't he capitulate? Why wasn't he changing his story? Why did he continue to hold Mark Breland as that guy? Why did he continue to defend his actions in firing Mark Breland? Why wasn't there a defamation lawsuit? Why wasn't as much legality that we have going on a regular basis in this world? Why wasn't anything talked about for consequence for Deontay Wilder for what he has spoken on while this arbitration was going? It was already out there. It's gotten to a point with me that I enjoy hearing the haters and the naysayers, talk that shit about Deontay Wilder heading to this trilogy. You keeping his name relevant. His name is the top trending name out here in boxing. You doing a live stream on Fury, but you're really talking about Wilder. I'm so thankful I got to experience the world before there was an internet and the social media. Man, you ain't never lied, bro. It was a beautiful thing, wasn't it? Real talk. It was beautiful. The world before internet was beautiful, man. Just imagine if we didn't have it right now. It would be more people. This wouldn't even be a conversation because it wouldn't be a interconnection. You know what I'm saying? In this social media, the technology wouldn't be developed as such. So we wouldn't be communicating except on a landline. A landline is a local area network. We'll communicate over WAN right now, a wide area network. Things have changed. But back to Wilder, though. A lot of people are talking about what Malik said, which isn't a big deal at all. Hearing Malik speak, being that he was a competitive professional boxer, he only has 3 losses to his boxing ledger. It takes more to continue to bring up him fighting Deontay Wilder. Whether you believe that results is what they are or not, they had a rapport. They had a connection. Malik Scott talks about this. I don't see why individuals are linking up Malik Scott and trying to force people to believe he should go around here talking as if he's illiterate. It's almost like they want him to be a dummy. The man has his own way of thinking, and everything he's saying connected to Deontay Wilder. People always want to act like, oh, Deontay Wilder made a bad choice. You know, Malik Scott was a sparring partner and everything. Now he wants him to be a trainer. It's impossible. It's impossible for that shit to work efficiently. It's fucking impossible. But now I'm understanding the era that we live in with social media, because we have individuals that in the comfort of their own home, they don't have to be seen. So therefore, if they want to be these people who portray themselves as knowing boxing or want to tune into boxing, they can do that. They cannot know shit about the sport, but they can attach themselves to a certain channel and listen to a blown up ass narrative. That narrative can be soiled from the start to the finish. It can be absolute toilet water, donkey piss, monkey poop, all that shit blended in together like gumbo. Throw some Vienna sausages in that motherfucker and some old ass corn. These motherfuckers refuse to understand what the overlay is when it comes to these. The first thing they want to do is say Deontay Wilder's making excuses, but he won the arbitration. The fight that happened, I hear loss. But guess what? He accepted the potential of a loss, the possibility of a loss, before he even stepped in the ring February 22nd. He had a contractual agreement, people. If there was a potential for him to lose, he square a third time to get his belt back. Is that not accepting your loss? Is that not having your business in order? Is that not doing things the right way? You know, enforcing a rematch clause? Because listen, let's be honest. Back in 2018, you remember when Joshua, like, he was being a bad little boy, and he was on the computer when he wasn't supposed to, and somehow, some way, he was on long enough to tell Wilder, if you give me $50 million, I'll fight you tomorrow. And then somehow, some way, when he received, he was like, oh shit, I don't know what to do. Eddie. He had to call on Eddie Hearns. He didn't know what to do. But Deontay Wilder said, hey, the 50 million is here. We're going to fight this year. You're going to fight in Vegas. You know, we're going to match clause. It's all or nothing. That was his stipulation to Fury. He's heading into a trilogy with the man he gave an opportunity, coming back from a so-called mental illness. No, it was a drug suspension and you was coked out. So Deontay Wilder accepted this is in order that if he did lose, he would absolutely have a chance to redeem himself and get back in the square. Y'all have to stop trying to portray, him as being this dumb nigga that don't know shit. 1 minute he don't know a motherfucking thing about boxing, right? The next, he's under the slave master when he had Shelly Finkel and JD's for the longest. And he used to have Lou DiBella before Lou DiBella wanted to go out here and orchestrate deal without his consent that Deontay Wilder turned down. So let's get it straight. That was more than JD's on the team before. And then Lou DiBella, he departed ways. Shelly Finkel still in the cut, and along with JD's. So make up your mind. Were you part of the group when Deontay Wilder was winning and they say he should fire his whole motherfucking team? Okay. It brings us to this point right here, July 24th. The arbitration only added to the people being angry and upset. Because when people are eager to see your downfall and they want you crawling on your motherfucking stomach, nothing positive that you have going on, whether it be personal or business, it doesn't matter. All people want to do is he struggling? Is he struggling? What was that? That article is out. The fight is made. They agreed on the fight. Fury and Joshua agreed, right? Oh shit. They signed a contract. Oh my God, they did. Oh my God. These motherfuckers are holding their chest, right? Not because the national anthem is playing. These motherfuckers are holding their chest like they having a brief breakdown. Oh my God. It's happening. Joshua Fury for undisputed. Wow. What was that? BoxRec has the fight scheduled for August. Oh my God. They're calling up friends. Hey, Tommy, guess what? Hey, guy. Hey, man, this fight is actually going down. Yeah. That Wilder guy, he's out. He's out of the equation. Yes, he is. We have Joshua Fury, baby. Yes. Hey, see what the bet odds are. Let's get into that. Let's try to see can we make a little bit more change. Yes. People was elated that Eddie Hearns was puppetizing their ass. Eddie Hearns once again played the audience, those gullible audience that tune in to every word he say. He played them like a fiddle, man. You need to relax. They're going to be more. What do you think going on with the team? It's people out there thinking COVID, right? I know what you're thinking, COVID. You have people out here, COVID, right? So check this out. Tyson Fury's been vaccinated, and Deontay Wilder and his team been vaccinated. So we need to exclude COVID. So let's build upon other areas of catastrophes that can happen. Is it going to be a paratrooper or something like Riddick Bowe and Holyfield when they was fighting? What we're going to have somebody butt naked, jump in the ring and climb up on the top rope and try to do the frog splash off that motherfucker? I mean, what are we looking to sabotage this fight? One of the biggest fights in boxing history, y'all. It's going to send this YouTube into a motherfucking frenzy. The haters continue to make videos because you put Fury's name up there, but you're talking about Wilder. Pete Davenport, what's good? Salute to you, my brother. Everything boxing and sports, man. Salute to you. Appreciate you pulling up. Andrew D. Hodges in the building. Salute to you. Appreciate that, Andrew. Thanks. Be sure y'all check out Everything Boxing and Sports, man. Check him out. Subscribe to the channel and check out the content. Pete Davenport says, showing the big brother world some love. Keep doing your thing. I appreciate you, Pete. Appreciate you, my brother. Real talk. I had some people hit me up and ask me, was I at the press conference, right? And then they want to lead with this question right here. You was at the press conference, right? Right there, WCS. I said, yeah, I was there. So what did you think about what was said? What you mean what was said? It was a lot said. It was a lot. What are you saying? What was said? Well, you know about Tyson Fury saying that Malik Scott could no way possibly teach Deontay to execute something or finish something, teach Deontay something he wasn't able to do in his boxing career. And that can go the same for Sugar Hill. So basically, Tyson Fury was trying to be the comedian of the press conference. This is before they faced off because, Wilder pretty much wasn't paying him any mind. He really wasn't. He was just had his headphones on, and he had made a commitment before he even split the curtains that Malik is going to be his mouthpiece for that press conference. And that's exactly what happened. Now, a lot of people talking about how Malik was mentioning about his eardrum, right? The man is being honest about his eardrum, okay? You want him to lie? Malik is being honest about it. So what? Malik has nothing to do with stepping in the ring with Tyson Fury physically. He has a lot to do with preparing Deontay Wilder to step in there next month, July 24th, to get his belt back. That's what people are disturbed about. Why did Deontay Wilder pick another day one cat? Why didn't he pick somebody else? Well, guess what? He did. It is somebody else that they picked to be in the camp. If you listen to the interviews, him and Malik Scott start laughing when they was asked about who else was going to be a part of the camp. They both start laughing. When two brothers laugh about shit nobody else knows, they know some shit. It's between them. They like, man, we know who we bringing in the camp. Andrew say Fury thought it sounded good, but he didn't really think about it. Absolutely. Y'all, look, some of y'all have to understand that, okay, if you wasn't on site, right, you have to factor in what percentage you're going to believe the individual who's telling you about the press conference, right? And I'm not sitting up here trying to bloviate how the press conference went down. You've seen it yourself. Tyson Fury was trying to belittle Malik Scott's presence as a trainer. But Tyson Fury is the same one that said you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But that's exactly what he said about Sugar Hill coming to his camp in the rematch. He was up there talking as if Sugar Hill reinvented his boxing style. And people are regurgitating this shit, y'all. They're saying, well, he taught him how to properly place a punch. What? Nigga, what the fuck you talking about? Sugar Hill taught him how to properly place a punch. The man already went in there against Klitschko. He was a former unified champion who never defended a motherfucking strap. He never should have stepped in there with Klitschko because he already had a pending case with Christian Hammer. I guess that was a protection for the complexion, right? Because you put an appeal in and you was able to fight a championship fight. I thought about that shit a lot, y'all. I did. I thought about that shit a lot with Fury. I said, how did he get over from having a pending case with Christian Hammer popping to being able to step in there under appeal for Klitschko? So really, if you look at it, Tyson Fury is only the WBC champion. And then when you really look at it, that has been marred in controversy. That is a cheating scandal. This man's career is a fraud. He fought Klitschko when he was already pending action. He look, he absquatulated from the sport, y'all. He left. He relocated to his home where that nice powdery substance was there waiting and looked like a white, pure white pyramid. He left the sport. The dude is a fraud for real. So the question arose again about the press conference, right? Someone asked me, why didn't Deontay Wilder say more than he did? It's been absolutely clear as to what his stance was going to be once he returned back to the media. That stance was initially, go all the way back to the first PBC interview that was a little bit after his fight with Tyson Fury. He was very vague in providing details about that fight. You know, they tried to, prod, pick, poke, whatever. They tried to pull it from him because they wanted him to talk about the accusations. He didn't say much. And then months went by. These motherfuckers on here, why they're not talking? My God. Why art thou able to hear his voice? And these motherfuckers, all they wanted to do is hear him say the same stuff he said that was out in the open, that was supposedly rumor, that Mark Breland was fired. His legs felt heavy once he, took off the suit. Everything wasn't right about him that night on February 22nd. They wanted to hear him talk about it, but they didn't really know he was in arbitration. It came down to a point where he had to absolutely have a gag order. Like Tyson Fury was actually in there, auditioning for the soap operas. He was in there talking about Deontay is ruining his life and he's defaming his character and all this other shit. That didn't work. That did not work. No matter what complaining and whining that Tyson Fury did in the arbitration, it didn't work. But a gag order was enforced. So Deontay Wilder was just chilling for a minute. He didn't say shit. He was like, man, I'm going to keep this shit to myself. My team, members of my team. I know Tay knew every damn thing about what was going on with the arbitration, all that shit. All the media news headlines that came out that was talking about this Fury Joshua fight. If I wanted to just confirm, because I couldn't fathom the fact that Eddie Hearns would play around with his people like that. I'm talking about in this situation for Undisputed. I thought Eddie would be much more professional. And he wasn't. It was a lie. Eddie Hearns knew damn well that fight wasn't taking place. Eddie Hearns knew damn well that Joshua Fury shit wasn't going down because, for one, Wilder and Fury was still in arbitration, and they knew several days before basically the news hit that Wilder had ruled. I mean, they had ruled in Wilder's favor. Do you remember right before the arbitration news dropped? Eddie Hearns was talking about a site location and shit and a date. Who does that? Who is so narcissistic as Eddie Hearns to continue to put out false agitprop to the audience to fool them in believing that Fury and Josh was taking place in Saudi Arabia? When, for one, Fury hasn't fought since Deontay Wilder fought. He said he was fighting in December, didn't happen. He said he was fighting early February, boom. Eddie Hearns came out with some shit talking about, well, we're gonna Fury wants to fight twice. So for one, we're gonna if we're not able to no, he was talking about Anthony Joshua. He was talking about Anthony Joshua, right? So initially he said, I guess Anthony Joshua will fight Alexander Usyk at this time, and then later on in the year he'll fight Fury. He had the shit all planned out. That's if Deontay Wilder situation isn't cleared up. Now that the Wilder situation is clear, present danger, we don't hear shit from Eddie Hearns. Because what did he say? He would go ahead and fight Alexander Usyk. What did they do? They extended the fight date for Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk in hope of Wilder not being able to regain his title. So then they can reschedule this farce of an undisputed title match. That's what they have going on, people. King Mitch in the building. What's good? Salute, my brother. What's good? D Hodges in the building. Jay Dixon, salute to you, my brother. Now Sugar Hill is going to make him a one-punch hitter, but he hasn't been able to teach anyone else that. See? Got people up here paying attention. You have individuals paying attention. Name another fighter he's been able to emulate that with. I'm just curious, who else in that Crunk stable has been able to, in that short period of time, apply that special sauce, that Crunk sauce, right? Who has been able to apply the Crunk sauce like Tyson Fury? Please, one name. I just want to hear one freaking name. Just one fighter. Who's been? L-Dub in the building. What's good, bro? Salute to you. 79 Boxing. Salute WCS. Salute to you, my brother. Appreciate you pulling up. Andrew said Eddie knows how to play his social media minions. He was putting out all kinds of claims leading up to the arbitration. Man, Eddie Hearns knows what he does, man. And like once again, every time I think about that arbitration coming out in Wilder's favor, it's just a smile. Do you know supporting the U.S. heavyweight champion when he had his belt, when he was actively reigning? You know how many individuals that so-called call themselves my friends on here, how they turn their back and acting like we really had a true, dedicated, genuine relationship? Like they're like, man, you're supporting Wilder too much, man. You're like doing, man, you just don't have a clue. Like on Facebook, you got people that just, the shit is separate. It's funny how my YouTube is so separate from my Facebook, because the traction you get on YouTube is much more active and congested than Facebook. So if I put something on Facebook, it might take a while for people to kind of start, leaning over, reading it. And then you'll have people leave little small comments. And all of them are negative. If I put a post on my World Combat Sports Facebook page, that means anybody who's pulling up, they can see it. The group, you have to be a part of the group or whatever, right? Well, if I put something that's on there that it's accessible, you get somebody to make a nasty comment, somebody else a co-sign on it. Like I had this motherfucker that say some shit like, I'm not even gonna go into it right now. I'm not even gonna give him no shine because I know he watching. I'm not even gonna give him no shine, man, because he sounds stupid. The stuff he was trying to act like he was sounding intelligent, but it was absolutely off the mark. It had nothing to do with anything. Pretty much what he was saying is him hiring Malik Scott is just like taking a wing off a plane. They're destined for tragedy right from takeoff. That's basically what he was saying in his own analogy. that everybody right now, before it was like Deontay should fire his whole team, right? You remember that. So then now it's, oh, let me redirect my focus to Malik Scott because he's the mouthpiece of the team right now. Tay is pretty much the mouthpiece of the team on social media. I mean, on YouTube. But Malik Scott has been speaking a lot. You know, he spoke a lot at the presser. But what people didn't see is the intensity that occurred between Wilder and Fury. It was a different type of non-physical energy, all right? This type of energy, you know, it's a type of visual presence that you almost thinking to yourself, someone could die. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it really went down right there on the spot, there will be casualties. There will be casualties, period. It was no joking. It was no fuckery. There's no bullshitting around. It's no costume. It's none of that damn charade shit. It was intense up there. And I say this because sitting in that room when they finally announced that Fury and Wilder was gonna face off, it was almost like being in a morgue in that motherfucker, dog. Nobody wouldn't say shit. Both fighters looking at each other, the energy was just unfucking believable. It was radiating off that. It was non-physical energy, right? But it was, man, it was like a vortex that was radiating in the room. Nobody wouldn't say shit. That's how serious people understand this fight to be, but they don't want to take it serious. They want to just clown this shit on here, but they didn't have the opportunity to really feel the room. You had to feel the room at that time. Wilder was facing off in front of Fury. No shucking, no jiving. No ducking, no dodging. That shit was absolutely intense without anybody throwing a punch. And the first one to start talking shit was Fury. And you know, Wilder took off his shades. He was looking at Fury, staring him in the eye, and Fury up there talking, saying what Fury does, you know, bullshitting around. Then, you know, his people that was in his group was talking shit. Wilder people was talking shit. And they stood up there intensively. I would have the security thought they was going to go up there and turn the fighters to the front like they always do. That shit wasn't happening. I think Chris from Deontay Wilder's security team said, y'all ain't motherfucking touching shit. Don't nobody touch him. Nobody. There ain't nobody putting no hands on nobody. They came up there and posted up, and that's it. It didn't matter what, no voice came. Okay, face to the front. Okay, face to the front. Okay, hey, fellas, face. There wasn't none of that shit. It was face to face, eyes to eyes. And there was damn that synergy that was passed back and forth. I'm telling you, the fight's gonna be incredible, y'all. If I had to guess to link up that fight with any fight that Deontay Wilder's had in the past, where it looked like he was a bit immortal in his boxing authority, I would say that it would be Bermane Stiverne in the rematch. I really believe he's going to make this fight easier than people think. I don't really give a fuck about talking ahead of time what's on this YouTube shit. But I'm telling you, in Vegas on that night, Right now, Deontay looking great shape, like he can fight next week. He's been training, you can tell. But if you look at my brief interview with Tyson Fury, he tells me that he's 280 something right now, and he cracks open his damn jacket like I supposed to give him a once over. Nigga, close your motherfucking jacket. First of all, he's telling me, like, I just really want to ask, like, why are you going through all these changes? Talking about you're going underground, right? If in another sense you're saying he's easy, you're gonna stop him in one round, and then he tries to say, "What do you mean? You say you was going underground?" No, I didn't say that. So me already knowing Tyson Fury is a liar, and his brother, whoever that dude was, that was pretty much trying to, get me out of the area. But we're in a public place. We're in Starbucks, and I'm trying to get some clarity from Fury. And he tells me they've been partying in Miami for the last 6 weeks. So while Deontay Wilder's been training, and this is supposed to be like his third pre-camp, Tyson Fury say he's been training, he's been partying in Miami. Believe me, people, I wanted a longer interview, but it was some little disrespectful shit that was going on. I was by myself. It was a little disrespectful shit going on for people who I didn't know who the fuck they was. They was busy trying to get pictures, and they wanted to act like they was in love with Fury. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to goddamn be his temporary security team. Because I think the only blacks that was in that Starbucks at the time was me and Sugar Hill. And you know what team Sugar Hill riding for. Yeah, it was like that. It was unfortunate that, I had to cut it because, Tyson Fury started ignoring me. He bitched out and he wanted to start ignoring my questions and all that shit. So I just left. I'm not going to sit up there like I'm 12 years old and this is the first time I'm seeing a professional boxer. I'm out. But before that, I talked to Sugar Hill and I said, Sugar Hill, explain what Tyson Fury said to Malik Scott. Malik Scott in turn saying that you haven't did anything in boxing. So how can you teach Tyson Fury to turn over his punches and become this awesome power puncher, right? And he turns to me and say the most slimiest shit. It's just trash talk. It's just trash talk. That's all it is. I say, for real, it's just trash talk, huh? That's all it is. I said, but you his trainer, though. He said, no, I don't even train Tyson Fury. So now I know he was bullshitting me. I really didn't have time to be, running up behind him and, them going in the Starbucks and shit right there. But it just made me think after, listening to him get interrogated by Drew, I understand why he was acting the way he is because he's that dude. Like, real talk. He fits real nice into the Fury camp. He's slimy, just like, them. He fits in. That's why you see them dancing over there. They have this bond. They have this motherfucking bond together. And no one's going to break that bond. You're not going to, look, he was a former, law enforcement officer, right? You're not going to break him and have him slip up on some shit. The only way you're going to get the best of Sugar Hill is beat the team. And that's what Team Wilder projection is July 24th, Las Vegas. You feel me? A whole lot of suits came out doing the standout. Yeah. They had them big and there was security. I'm not sure if they were security strictly for Wilder because they was in the hotel too. It was actually right in front of me. I was sitting down, talking. I seen them there. So they were security detail for the fighters. I'm not sure for Fury or Wilder. I'm not sure. Right, like you're gonna pan the camera up and down. No, I'm not. Andrew, I couldn't do that, Andrew. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, no, hold up, back up a little bit. Let me get the whole view. No, motherfucker, what you talking about? This dude breaks open his jacket and said, look at me. I'm 289 pounds. I said, okay, my question is this. Fury is Fury. Everything boxing and sports. Salute to you, my brother. Appreciate the donation. He said, man, I had a full-blown debate with Batman and Money telling them Eddie knew and they wanted to put all the blame on Bob. No, Eddie knew. No, you can't put it on Bob because Eddie knew. Bob was absolutely a prominent player in the Fury Joshua Undisputed. So, of course, information was being passed between Bob Arum and Eddie Hearns, man. The communication link was active, greened up. It was not just Bob Arum, bro. That is debunked. Eddie knew all the information that Bob was getting. Real talk. That's real talk. And when did this debate happen? I have to get that on replay. There, Keon. For real. I have to get that on replay. I have to check that out. It was still good shit, though. You're out there in the trenches. Appreciate it, man. I'm about to be out here in the trenches this week, too. Those of you that tuned in today, be sure to check me out. I'm covering Gervonta Davis and Mario Barrios fight again. When I mean again, I covered the first Gervonta Davis with Gamboa fight down here, and we headed at it again. I'm gonna be right back out there in the street. Media week starts Tuesday, so they have a presser, weigh in, and of course the fight. Let me see. Let me pull up my press release, right? Hold on for a second. Let me pull up my press release so I can give you accurate information. Okay. So, of course, this is Mayweather Promotions, Showtime. I'm not sure what other promotion is going to be on there. But let me pull this timeline up for those of you that may not know what's popping. Or, you might be in the area. Who knows? Okay. Let me see what they're talking about. Okay, so hold up for a second. Why is this becoming? So, Fight Week event begins June 23rd. All right. So the 23rd is Wednesday, just like I initially said. I believe it starts Wednesday or whatever. And they're going to bring out the schedule, but they usually have one presser down here, and then they have the weigh-in. All right. Which the weigh-in is going to be Friday, of course, and the fight is going to be Saturday. But stay tuned, man, because Gervonta usually provides some exciting, press conference to a point, and but more so the weigh-in. This time he's fighting at 140 though, so I don't foresee him coming into the weigh-in grumpy like he did when he was there with Gamboa for 135. But I've seen Gervonta Davis enough to know when they get close to fight time, yeah, he might give you a little extra. It's according to what his opponent is. He might give you a little extra. You know what I'm saying? But now he doesn't have to shed so much weight. You have to look at that 130. He's coming up from 130 to 40. That's 10 extra pounds, y'all. That's 10 extra pounds he don't have to shed, dog. Hey, come on, man. Javante, I'm pretty sure he's gonna make weight. Real talk. He's gonna make weight. Real talk, man. Seriously. But I want y'all to stay close to. Okay. You say you'll send it to me. All right, that's what's up. I'm gonna have to hit the replay on that and say it was absolutely not 100% Bob's culpability on that, bro. I know that from the horse's mouth. It was not. He was informing because they was trying to make that fight. First of all, they was trying to make that fight with Joshua and Fury. They was trying to get that money. Bob needs that money. And he was keeping them informed about everything that was going on, that arbitration. Eddie Hearns chose to go out here and play around and finagle the motherfucking psychological process of the audience and them just hurt their feelings. And that's exactly what he did. He hurt their feelings. That's why they all bent out of shape right now that Deontay Wilder did win the arbitration. And their fantasy fight isn't happening. I'm loving it. Don't be mad. Don't be mad, Shawty. 79 Boxing said, I think Pamper Bob. man, the internet is just a savage, bro, for real. It's a savage. He called this man Pamper Bob. You know what? That's why I'm gonna pick an age right now, right? Then I'm gonna release myself, sever ties with social media, because I don't want to be on here too old, and they start making up nicknames for me. I think Pamper Bob just out here having fun, screwing over everyone before his 12th round bell goes out. Hey, man, you know, Bob's an OG in the game. He's been around for a minute. The all access episodes with Tanks and Barrios have been solid. They have, bro. They've been real nice. They've been real nice. I was look, you don't think I was trying to see what Tank then was doing down here so I can be there to try to get my own? Like if you look at the Teofimo fight, the fight he had with Edis Tatley, I was in Showtime. I was following Showtime around big. They was cool, man. Showtime was extremely not Showtime. Top Rank. I was following Top Rank around. It was very, very cool. You know what I'm saying? It was cool to follow them around and you know, for them to get all that footage. I was able to get some pictures when he was with his people. Yeah, for sure. See, you know, people tell you anything they want you to hear, but I operate a camera, video, just like I was doing at the press conference. That shutter clicking, the aperture that you hear in my videos, that's me taking a picture on my right hand and I'm filming with my left. Now, I don't do that for everything, but I do like to have stills sometimes. You know what I'm saying? J-Rock hurt his elbow and has dropped from the car. Absolutely, Mitch. Yes, sir. I heard that. And you know what's funny, though? If anyone was dropping off this card first, I believed it was going to be J-Rock. Seriously, before I even heard that, I said, I don't think J-Rock trying to fight down here in the A. I just didn't see it. It's something just like Hurd. I don't know what's going on, man. He hurt his elbow. I don't know what's going on with J-Rock, bro. But I was definitely looking forward to seeing him fight. Clown ass chumps was out here saying Wilder was retired. Yeah, man. You know what it is. Them simps up here talking about he's not fighting again. He's mentally, you know, what they call it. He has what was that word they use? Mentally unstable, depressed, all that shit. The same old misdiagnosis from unemployed life coaches. Everybody want to be a life coach now. They hear they read one article comes out that Deontay Wilder is so-called depressed, and all of them are life coaches. See, he's not talking because where is he? He's locked in the basement. He's ostracized himself from society. Where's JD's? Where's Shelly Finkel to help him? You know what I'm saying? They on some bullshit. That's what they on. But look, y'all continue to mention his name on the same shit all the time. Just continue to rehash it. You keeping his name relevant. Do that. Do that. That's the whole point. Work for Team Bomb Squad. Keep his name out there. Keep talking. And yes, that's what's good. Keep building up, because you're basically able to get views on your channel also, talking about a topic that other people wants to tune in and talk about on your channel. So all of you that's out there talking and making thumbnails every other day, as Wilder Torchlit Parade, then continue to talk about it, man. It's all good. Keep his name relevant. So on the 25th, you have to show up. You have to be in attendance. Deep down inside, a lot of you are very, very scared. You're optimistic to the point where you really can't choose for certain that Tyson Fury is going to walk up out of there as a champion. You're afraid to make that commitment, even knowing what you've seen, right? That you talk about so much in the rematch, knowing that you have that reserve within your body. You know why you do? Because now you're seeing Wilder out here training. He's basically working on different parts of his boxing skills. He's increasing the volume of his punches. He's using more footwork to his punch delegation. That right there is allowing people to say, you know what? I mean, it's forcing people to understand that, damn, I can't really bet wholeheartedly that Fury's going to walk up out of here as a champion. I don't know. Deontay Wilder's looking dangerous right now. That power isn't going anywhere. But if they're teaching him where to place that power now and be consistent with his head movement, foot movement, and to still be overly active, like consistently active with his volume of punches, not loading up on the right hand, working behind that jab. Ooh, it's going to be crucial. It's just going to be crucial, y'all. There's no Sweet Caroline in that motherfucker come July 24th. No, sir. No, sir. It's not going to be no Sweet Caroline, nothing. It's going to be boo. We'll boo that shit right to people. So, oh, man, goddamn, they just disrespectful. Now they even hating on Ellie because he got some interview time with Wilder. Listen, why would they be hating on Ellie? And Ellie has like 1,000 people he's interviewed. Why? Why? That makes no sense at all. Ellie was actually sitting right behind me at the presser. Why would you be upset at that? Why, man? Just listen to the interview. Take notes. And go on about your business. That's all you got to do. You don't have to really like the interviewer. It's not like the interviewer is in front of the camera. Both Barbershop and Ellie was off camera, and they was just asking questions. Like, come on, bro. Just be happy that the interview was completed. You was able to get two different perspectives, and you can take those ingredients and cook up what the fuck you want to cook up. That's it. That's all you got to do. Real talk. Mr. Reporting Ellie Sadback might not do shit how people want him to, but he definitely be out here working, and he a true pioneer to the YouTube shit for sure. Absolutely. Ellie been out here in a minute. He's been out here for a minute. A long minute. So you have to take that in consideration as to how many people he knows, how many gyms he's at. His assistant is cool. It's a unique story about how his assistant, came to work with him. Pretty cool dude. Ellie is everywhere, man. Like at one point in time, man, I was freaking scheduling shit over and over again. I was like, I couldn't believe I went to that many places at that many times. I mean, it's like full blown, full speed. Like really, when you retire at night, when you say, okay, cool, I'm done, and you go up there and relax, your motherfucking body crashes. You know, I can't believe I was on my feet that long. I can't believe I was doing media for that long. Radio Radio Raccoon is a gump. Look, straight up, man. Radio. He see me now. I believe he tried to do some shit on purpose, because I told you how I checked Radio when he was down here in Atlanta, and Tank Davis was having an open workout with Yorkis Gamboa, and he had a one-on-one interview with his snow bunny, right? So he's up there with his snow bunny having an in-ring one-on-one, which I can't get. Like all the other media can't get that exclusive. So when Tank finally comes over to the YouTube media, the new media, Raheem splits the ropes and call himself gonna plant himself right up there to continue, while we are just now being able to address Tank and ask some questions after being up with Radio about 15, 20 minutes. That wasn't enough for his views. He asked me, can you slide over so my assistant can get there? I say, absolutely not, bro. I say, Radio, you just had a one-on-one exclusive in there, man. That's selfish, bro. Real talk. That's selfish, man. This ain't the Hollywood Hills. This ATL. I grew up down here, shawty. You right where I used to be as a kid. I said, that ain't happening. You putting your assistant right here to take away some of these other media entities, outlets that's out here, that's local here to the city, and you're just gonna come out the ring, post up, and then think you're gonna ask more questions. And make it so bad, his dumb ass came in there. He had just finished getting a haircut by somebody, and he had hair all on the back of his sweater. I told him, I say, you got hair all on the back of your sweater. You know what I'm saying? You didn't check that shit before you left. You come with a Bernie Mac Steve Harvey special. You know what I'm saying? That he had a mini fro on there. The shit didn't look real, but hey, who am I? I'm not here to judge. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, bro. But man, hey, stay tuned this week, man. It's press week gonna be kicking off real quick. It's gonna be here before you know it, and it's gonna be live and live in color. He has an open workout Wednesday. That's what he has, an open workout Wednesday. And I believe he's going to have one more presser Thursday, Friday the weigh-in, and Saturday the fight. So what I'm attempting to do this time, more so than I did in the past, is, basically go live like I did at the presser, so y'all can kind of see what's going on. Most of the time I just record it and then I post it up when I get back to the room. But this time I'm definitely going live, and I appreciate, y'all dropping through and paying World Combat Sports, that support, man, that attendance. I appreciate it. But stay tuned. Devontae Davis, Mario Barrios going down this week in the ATL. And just make sure that hopefully the notifications come out to each and every one of y'all, and we can get as many people in here as possible. I appreciate, the fellas early that the panel I was on, Drew Titan and Stormy B, Tay Jones dropping their Iron Mill Will, all of them was over there cooking earlier. Everything Boxing Sports was through. King Mitch, appreciate you. Pete Davenport dropped the donation. Him and Everything Boxing, appreciate y'all. 79 Jay Dixon, Andrew, Anthony Jones, what's good? What's good? Coach Chris pulled up earlier. Y'all stay tuned this week, man. It's gonna be on and popping. Turn up and salute the World Combat Sports.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6th sense for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys, cause I break the chains. They try to hold me, I'ma push back. Just wait and you'll see. Please excuse me, your honor, but you can't hold me no longer. Can't you feel the vibrations? I broke out and left traces. Go ahead, try catch me if you can, man. You'll be looking all night, I'm the Sandman. New York, London to Japan. I'ma show the whole world who I am. Boom.